Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. I am going to make more content that is exclusive on Patreon and Spotify, along with, of course, giving you guys more free videos and episodes as we go. But I want to talk about a female rapper that I feel as though I haven't talked about yet. I have talked about MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, Lil' Kim, a bit of Missy, as far as Cardi and Megan and Lauryn Hill. So I have talked about female rappers so far, but I have yet to talk about a female rapper that I feel as though I need to talk about. So let's talk about Pink Friday by Nicki Minaj. So, Pink Friday is the debut studio album by Trinidadian rapper Nicki Minaj. It was released on November 22nd, 2010 by Cash Money Records, Young Money Entertainment, and Universal Motown Records. Minaj began recording the album after signing a recording contract with Young Money Entertainment in 2009. Musically, it is primarily a hip-hop, R&B, and pop record that incorporates electronic music. The album features guest vocals from Eminem, Rihanna, Drake, will.i.am, Kanye West, and Natasha Bedingfield. Pink Friday was promoted with 3 singles before its release: Your Love, Check It Out, and Right Through Me. Moment for Life, It Did It On Them, and Fly followed. 5 singles peaked within the top 40 on the US Billboard Hot 100, and the deluxe album Super Bass peaked at number 3 on the chart. Pink Friday debuted at number 2 on the US Billboard 200, selling 375,000 copies in its first week, which marked the second highest sales debut ever for a female rapper after Lauryn Hill, who I have talked about. Okay, so check out that video. It later peaked at number 1, becoming Minaj's first number 1 album. Internationally, it charted within the top 20 in Australia, Canada, and in the United Kingdom. In 2016, the album was certified 3 times platinum by the Recording Academy. Pink Friday received generally positive reviews, with some critics ambivalent on Minaj's exploration of R&B and pop. It was nominated for Best Rap Album at the 54th Grammy Awards in 2012, alongside Minaj's other nominations for Best New Artist and Best Rap Performance for the single Moment for Life. Over a decade since its release, the album has received praise from music journalists and has developed a cult following. In 2022, Rolling Stone included Pink Friday in their list of 200 greatest hip-hop albums of all time at number 31, stating that the album proved you could own the charts without dialing back your confrontational individuality, and it set the table for a generation of artists. Minaj released a sequel to the album, Pink Friday 2, in 2023. So, Your Love was released June 1st, 2010. That's the first single. Check It Out was September 3rd, 2010. Right Through Me, September 24th, 2010. Moment for Life, December 7th, 2010. Did It On Him, April 7th, 2011. Fly, August 30th, 2011. Yeah. After a major recording label bidding war, Young Money Entertainment announced on August 31st, 2009 that Nicki Minaj had signed to the label. Recording sessions for the album took place at several recording locations, including 25 Sound Studios in Detroit. I think it's Chalice Recording Studios in Los Angeles, and Glenwood Place Studios in Burbank, California. American record producer Swiss Beats confirmed that his collaboration with Minaj for the album, with Minaj discussing a song, Catch Me, describing it as a moody and mellow futuristic would later become a bonus track on the album. Minaj also confirmed to Entertainment Weekly that the Black Eyed Peas member and record producer will.i.am contributed production to the album. Fellow rapper and record producer Kanye West was also confirmed for the album. Fellow record producer Bangladesh also contributed to the album. In 2011, there was a track titled "We Miss You" from the album being leaked online. Minaj responded by saying that the song was sent to Mariah Carey and Keisha Cole over a year ago, but did not make it on Pink Friday due to clearance issues. So as far as recording goes, it was recorded between 2008 and 2010. I am 30, not to just put my age out there like that, but at the time when this was coming out, I was already 16, 15, 16. But even prior to that, I remember pretty much being about 13 in the sense of 2007 from her first mixtape, as opposed to 14 and 15 when it came to her second. And pretty much by the time that she already had Your Love as, you know, the forefront single. So I am aware of just when this album was starting to be put together, at the timing and where I was. And as I've told you guys in previous videos, I'm always going to remain unbiased and continue to talk about the creativity and the artistry of any artist and every artist, regardless of anything going on outside of the music. So as far as release and promotion, she spent a lot of time on Twitter, as far as with making sure, and in recent times, people would know what it is that she's going to do with her releases and her albums. Yes, let's see here. There was a tour as well. Yes, there were. Okay, yep, there was a short tour. Yep, start date was, the Pink Friday promo tour, which was October 22nd, 2010 to October 30th, 2010. There was only 5 shows. She announced it on Twitter that she would kick off a 5-date promotional tour for a month before the album dropped. And she was at Wells Fargo in Philly, in DC, Star Nightclub, Waterbury. This was in Connecticut. And she was also out here in Boston. She was in Boston at TD Garden, October 25th, 2010. So, and then she went to South America and Spain. But yes, Pink Friday was met with generally positive reviews from music critics. Assigned the album a score of 68 out of 100 based on 26 reviews, indicating generally favorable reviews. Let's see here. I think you guys are more, and this is not me giving a fourth wall here, maybe I am, but I think you guys are more interested in what I liked about the album, and of course I already read about, let's see here. It did win an American Music Award, favorite rap hip-hop album. It did win that, yes. And let's see here. Yeah. The album peaked at number 1 on December 1st, 2010. On December 17th, it was certified platinum by the Recording Academy. In its 11th week on the chart, the album sold 45,000 copies and topped the Billboard 200. The album also held the record for the most weeks in the top 10 on the Billboard 200 chart by a female rap album, having spent 14 consecutive weeks in the top 10 since its release. Yeah. Let's see. I'm just, you know, as I do with every artist, I try to make sure you guys have all the information that y'all need to know. Okay. Um, yeah, and there's writing in 2021. Ellis Gilligan of Junkie wrote that the influence of Pink Friday and pop, rap, and even hyper pop and undeniable. And added that it is still inspiring albums like Doja Cat's Planet Her. Well, I agree with Doja Cat's Planet Her, because that definitely was an album that was, it's R&B, a little bit more pop, if you will, but it's not bad though. I appreciated it, and I will definitely talk about Planet Her as well. But let's get into the track list so you guys can have an understanding that I know this album too. I did listen, okay? So, I'm the Best. That's track 1. Track 2, Roman's Revenge featuring Eminem. Track 3, Did It On Him. So, let's stop right there. Because I know anyone that is a fan of Nicki knows that the first 3 tracks, she's already swinging. Okay, she's already, you know, letting anyone know, bitch, what's up? Okay, in her right, okay? And when you get to track 4, Right Through Me, it's very vulnerable. And it's, you know, so this is the thing. I have a best friend that's a Sag as well. And ironically so, they have the same birthday. So there's times I tease her and I say, you know, you're Sag because there's certain things that she knows when she reacts. Not everybody agrees. I get her. But, you know, there's a way that with every sign, which if you guys look at astrology, like I've been already having videos on astrology, you guys can be able to understand, like, every sign is different, every sign has their way, and, you know, it's up to the individual, not the sign, the individual to understand themselves and how to move around, because every individual is different. You can have different signs, but you know, you can also be a different individual within having a moon and everything else, like I said then and like I'm saying now. But besides the point, Fly's track 5 featuring Rihanna. So for me, when I first was listening to this album at the time and hearing Roman's Revenge and Did It On Him and Right Through Me, like this, you know, it was really coming together to really get to know who Nicki is and was then. And as far as, you know, hearing Fly with Rihanna, you know, they was becoming close as far as with music, which I liked. Save Me, track 6. So this was different to hear at the time because, you know, we don't often hear, you know, rappers sing. And I thought, you know, from the instrumental and the way that she, you know, was admitting faults, you know, a lot of times, you know, in whether it's rap or or R&B, you know, we hear artists admit that, you know, I can be this way or I can do this. You know, there's times, you know, we don't always want to reflect on those things, but she said it here, you know. Moment for Life is track 7 with Drake. Of course, that became played everywhere and, you know, is a good song as far as for, you know, a collaboration between them both because they both released albums that year. There's track 8, Check It Out with will.i.am. I like that song, especially because of the sake of, you know, just the, you know, check it out. You know, it's just, you know, it was, you know, if you guys are wondering, like, you know, why I'm kind of like just memorizing certain things is because I'm just thinking back of just my teen years and just reflecting on just music as a whole, on all of what I was listening to, as opposed to separating all that in giving you guys this. Blazing, track 9 with Kanye West. So it feels like I'm blazing. I remember, I listened. I am a music person, so anything outside of music, you read up on, and it's like, okay, you can go to the end of time about what goes on outside of music. But when you kind of just hear songs and you're like, you know what, I like this. It's okay. I think that a lot of times people don't like to accept that. Like, I'm not gonna not like things. I'm not gonna not respect it either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna respect all of what anyone does, as opposed to people understanding that you can, like, you can like anything you want. 10, Here I Am. I thought that was a good song too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't like, yeah, Here I Am. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I remember that. And for anyone that is a fan of Nicki, I know this may be just in your playlist, like any of these songs. It's not that I don't listen to her. I'm just memorizing more or less on my timing on when it came out. That's how I like to do my commentary. Or even if I listen to something recently that I never heard before, I like to make sure that I give commentary on that experience. So I never try to give commentary based on what I know, as opposed to something that I didn't experience. Like, I did experience listening to this, so that's why I'm like, you know what? Make sure I give it a clearness on that. Track 11, Dear Old Nicki. So this was a letter to herself, that she definitely got into, making sure people understood as far as with her. Track 12 is Your Love, and track 13 is Last Chance, featuring Natasha Bedingfield. Now there's bonus tracks, the UK Super Bass Edition bonus tracks, Girls Fall Like Dominoes, and then there's Super Bass, which is track 15. So Super Bass is not even on the standard edition, but it's on the deluxe. So the deluxe had track 14, Super Bass, track 15, Blow Your Mind, track 16, Money. And then there's the special deluxe edition, digital deluxe edition, which is Girls Fall Like Dominoes, which is track 17 along with those 3 tracks. And then there's track 18, Roman's Revenge, featuring Lil Wayne. So more or less, people was trying to probably get the special deluxe edition, where you get about 5 more songs, especially if that one of the bonus tracks is has a video, I believe, to it. And then there's the overseas digital limited edition bonus tracks, Girls Fall Like Dominoes, Catch Me, which is track 18, Wave Your Hand, and then track 20, which is Roman's Revenge, featuring Lil Wayne. So then there was Bedrock, which was the Japanese deluxe edition. So Bedrock was added on to be right after those other songs too. So I guess if you wanted to buy things internationally, you'd get a little bit more, as opposed to getting things as a deluxe package. But as far as with this album, I feel it's a good album. I feel as though at the time that we didn't have as many female rappers who were able, keyword, able to come out and to bring creativity the way that she did. It speaks volumes, in a good way. And I feel as though that's why this album is as good, because a lot of times people will say, this person doesn't write, this person doesn't do enough, or this person does this and that. Everybody has contribution to this industry, regardless of how anyone feels as though someone does more or may have. It's still a contribution. And I feel as though, I think this album was really just a stamp in the sense of where she was going to continue on and have more music at all odds. And I can't say that's not persevering. A lot of artists have to persevere when it comes to odds that were not just against her, but against other people. And I think everybody has had their fair share of odds in the industry when it comes to things. When you really look at most of them and what they've all endured, like they all have their own story. So, but we will talk more about Nicki's discography as we go, along with others. I do want to thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.